They say, if you want to tell a story right, you gotta start at the beginning. Too far? Fine. This is me, Harley Quinn. When I was a kid, my dad traded me for a six-pack of beer. But however many times he tried to ditch me, I kept coming back.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.
I think probably the best comparison I could make is the Suicide Squad is like Evil Dead 2.
Cocaine is your superpower.
All things international. House of Pancakes, women, and podcasts.
Hello, and thank you for listening to Cheapseat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good.
Greater good pudding.
Oh, nice. Nice. Thank you.
It's kind of weird coming from me. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. Well, no, you mean the pudding part, or just the fact that you said the greater good?
Well, maybe both, but more so the pudding part.
Oh, you've called me way more things inappropriate than pudding.
That's true.
Yeah, no, but thank you, Andrew. No Sam tonight. We have no Sam tonight. He is on vacation in the great state of Florida at the World of Disney, and he's having a great old time, and therefore we are here doing the show without him. This is episode 351. We're back to our normal, regularly scheduled program after last week's both very fun live review and terrible movie that was chosen by the listeners and Twitter. They made us watch Thunder Force, and
I tried to tell you.
No, you did. And it was terrible. But go find our YouTube page and watch along and see just how bad Thunder Force is, because it's bad. Yeah. So this is episode 351, and tonight we're talking about... Oh, hold on. I have to read the whole thing because it's a ridiculously long movie name.
Yes, it is.
It is The Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. That's the only time I will say that entire thing. I am Sean Allred, and joining me tonight is Andrew. Your beard is on fire, Jimison.
Wasn't that brilliant? That's like the perfect way to get somebody with a beard, and everybody has a beard now, except for you. Well, if Sam were here, he would kill you in this movie by throwing a bag of trash at you on a busy street and just waiting to see what happens.
That does kind of sound like something. Just waiting for some random animals to attack me, like the city rats of Gotham come and attack me.
Yeah,
I feel like rats in Gotham are worse than the rats in New York, I think, for some reason.
Definitely.
Yeah. And making her, how was I going to say this? Making her hat trick, right? This completes the hat trick. Her third time back on the show.
Triple Crown.
Right. Well, we were chatting hockey a little bit the other day because she likes the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they eliminated my Carolina Hurricanes from the playoffs. No, you're not. Yeah. And
I'm not.
So that's why I went with the hat trick, and that is Lady Glitter Gun to the Face Wan.
I love it.
Oh man, and that's a middle name that is steeped in cheap seat lore. We used to have so before Andrew joined us, we had Chad on. May he rest in peace. He's not actually dead. That's just a joke we say. And pretty much every episode, whatever his middle name was, it was going to be whatever thing I could think of to the face. Right? It was always going to be something to the face for Chad. It was his shtick, so to speak. So I'm bringing that back for him. Not really sure why, but I am. Okay, so here we are. Birds of Prey 2020. Andrew, what in the ever-loving cartoon hell did we just watch? Please tell me.
After splitting with the Joker, Harley Quinn joins superheroes Black Canary, Huntress, and for some reason, Rosie Perez playing herself to save a young girl from an evil crime lord.
Okay. Cool.
Actually, Rosie Perez was playing Renee Montoya.
Yes.
Which is just a pseudonym for Rosie Perez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you. So we're doing this movie, to be very honest. We're doing this movie because, Lady Wan, we had you on, I think the very first movie we had you on, we did Sucker Punch, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes, we did.
And you were extolling the greatness of this movie, or maybe not the greatness, but you were saying that you liked this movie and that
Yes.
that this movie was kind of like what Sucker Punch is also, or something. I'm trying to connect A to B.
My 5-word review of Sucker Punch was just watch Birds of Prey.
Oh, wow.
It was like, if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for like a girl gang superhero, but like kind of dark, kind of weird, just watch Birds of Prey. It's a much better version of that type of story.
I got you. I remember that now.
Yeah.
And I agree with most of that. I don't know if it's a lot better, but it is a lot more of everything, except I think steampunk is about the only thing that this thing doesn't have more of than the other one. But yeah. Oh, no, that's good. Okay. Well, yeah, this movie directed by Kathy Yan. I don't want to say her name wrong. Yan. Okay, cool. This unfortunately kind of, it came out during pandemic times, and which is a bummer. So it had a budget of $84 million. It made $200 million, and basically that's because it opened right in the beginning of the pandemic. It opened February 9th, and so it was in theaters for a few weeks before we went into full lockdown. So, maybe if the pandemic hadn't come along, maybe this movie makes, $500-600 million. Who knows? But
how much did the Suicides? I'm not going to look. I have it pulled up, but just to kind of compare them, because that's the same franchise, sort of, or same story there.
Well, I don't know. That'd be
that's the first appearance of her character. Of Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, because this one's tough to compare with the other DC movies because it was rated R in theaters,
right?
Versus up until we got the Snyder Cut, the other DC films, Wonder Woman, all of that, they were all PG-13, so kind of opens them up to a bigger box office.
And rated R, rightly so.
Yes.
Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah, so this is Suicide Squad was a $746 million worldwide. That's how much it had. Yeah, it had a budget of $175 million. It made $746 million, which is interesting because Suicide Squad is, again, it's PG-13, but it also has an IMDb rating that's less than the Birds of Prey, which is interesting.
Yeah. And without getting into it, I would agree with that, to be honest.
I've not seen all of Suicide Squad. Every time it comes on TNT, I'm watching the same 45 minutes of the movie. It's the first 45 minutes. I've never seen past when they get to the building where they're trying to get to. I've never seen past it. I don't know what happens. So
you don't need to. It's very bad.
You're not missing anything.
It's sloppy and messy, and don't. You're fine without it.
And I don't want this particular podcast to be much more of me complaining about DC, because there's lots of episodes of me complaining about DC. But is The Suicide Squad, which is the next one, directed by James Gunn, who directed Guardians of the Galaxy, is that supposed to be again? Is it like the second one, or is it saying that the first one didn't happen?
I think we've accepted that the first one did happen because she refers to it in this movie, as well as that time she had like a bomb strapped to her neck or something. So that movie did happen. It does exist, but The Suicide Squad is just like, well, let's do this again, but better.
Yeah.
Truly.
But it's a sequel.
I think I kind of look at it like another episode in a series, not really a sequel, but I mean, you know how You know how, let's think of it, speaking of DC, going back to my childhood, the Batman animated series, when Batman would put one of these people in prison, the next episode they were out again. And there was just, I know
Arkham was like a revolving door, but I guess again,
I think probably the best comparison I could make is the Suicide Squad is like Evil Dead 2, where it's a sequel, but it's basically the same movie again. I think it's just that.
Well, you've sold me. Whenever you can compare anything to Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, I'm good with that.
I think that's it.
That's it. Okay. That's an interesting idea. I'll probably watch it. Of course, I haven't watched the first one, so and it has Will Smith in it, and I like Will Smith. I don't know. Yeah. I also don't think he's had a bad a run as people think. What was that other movie that he did with Margot Robbie?
Focus.
I liked that movie. I thought it was good.
I never saw it.
I thought it was
bad.
I don't feel bad. I just it's like an Ocean's 13, or it's there's a con and there's a thing and there's a betrayal and then there's a thing. It's I enjoyed it. I thought it was fine. I did better than fine, but anyway, not the point. The point is Birds of Prey 2020 stars Margot Robbie as the one Harley Quinn, Rosie Perez playing Rosie Perez, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who born in North Carolina. She's playing the Huntress.
She's our connection to Scott Pilgrim.
Yes, of course. Yeah, she's our Scott Pilgrim connection. In fact, I think she got this role because of her role in Scott Pilgrim. I think I read. Yeah. There was a lot of trivia on this movie, a lot, and I think that was one of the things. Journey Smollett, am I saying that right? She played Black Canary. Which, oh my gosh, I did not know that there were going to be superpowers in this movie, because when she does her canary voice, I was floored. I had no idea what was about to happen.
And I think because there are no other superpowers in this movie or in this universe so far, right? Did we see anything in Suicide Squad as far as superpowers?
Oh, yeah, there's weird stuff. What's his face lights himself on fire.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
There's the fire guy, and then the lizard guy, and Captain Boomerang is something. And
okay. All right. Well, I guess if
this movie.
Yeah, in this one, it felt out of place, and I was taken back by it. And that was the only moment that I was like, nah, I don't know about that.
It just reminded me that
to those things.
Yeah, it just reminded me. Oh yeah, right. We live in a world where there's things like this. Like you kind of forget, like it's just we're just running around with this crazy person doing a thing. Like her only superpower that we've seen is that cocaine makes her better at killing bad guys. Does that make her? Is that her Popeye moment in the movie? Is cocaine?
Yeah, I think it is.
I think so.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. And then Ewan McGregor is the last one I want to mention. I had no idea he was in this at all.
Yeah.
And I think
thought he was great.
He is so good and he's so fun. And it makes me kind of wish he were the Joker instead of Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made that comparison as I was watching as well. Yeah. I thought he would have been good.
I think he would have been really good. I haven't seen his entire filmography, but is this the only time he's been a bad guy?
I want to say he's been a bad guy before, but I don't remember in what.
Yeah. Nothing's jumping out to me right now.
I don't know. Anyway.
He's great in this. He's chewing up the scenes like he is out there. He's committed. He's great.
Yeah. And as crazy and as weird as he is, he's also like just a little bit nuanced that you're not 100% sure what's happening in his head. Like him and that henchman, are they together? Like there's some moments where you're going, oh, are they a thing? But then he does some other stuff, then you're like, oh, okay, maybe not. But it came across as he's like not quite openly gay bad guy, but it kind of came across. And so, like, because I was never sure, I thought that was actually kind of brilliant, because it doesn't really matter if he is or isn't. I just think it makes his character just, I don't know if it makes him more menacing if he's gay or not. I just think he's more menacing because we don't know all about him, you know?
He's unpredictable.
Oh my gosh.
Very.
He's so unpredictable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the one scene, I will say this, we're going to do 5 words in reviews here in just a second. The one scene that, I know we're jumping all over the place, but that's fine, where I had no idea what was about to happen, is when he makes that girl stand up on the table, right? Mm-hmm. And it's supposed to be very uncomfortable, and the Black Canary is like crying because this woman's being humiliated. And I honestly thought the movie was going to go farther than it did.
Yeah.
You know, because he's making her, you know, take her dress off, and the guy's, you know, ripping it with the knife, whatever. And I honestly kind of thought it was going to be, we were going to go to a new place of humiliation. And then I remembered it's a woman director, so we weren't going to go too far. But anyway, just making the point that we don't know what he's going to do. He was such a really interesting bad guy.
You never know what the line is with him. I mean, he's willing to free the daughter until she blows a snot bubble on him, and then he's like, no, cut her face off. Like, it's like, oh wow, like you're never safe around this person. And that's an excellent villain to have when our hero is really an anti-hero. So
yeah, exactly. Lady Wan, since you were just chatting, and you already have the mic, let's go ahead and have you do your 5-word review.
Okay. My 5-word review is cartoonish fun and colorful characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really, colorful, both literal and figuratively.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, most of these superhero movies, they're comic book characters, and like Harley Quinn is, but she was also introduced and created for the animated series for Batman. So she was born as a cartoon before a comic book character. So I think it's absolutely perfect that this movie is wildly cartoonish.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, that's 100% accurate. I think it's this movie is very cartoonish, and you're right. I mean, she does feel like a cartoon character, but kind of not in a bad way, because I know I've used that phrase as almost as an insult sometimes. Like whenever, like, remember Andrew when we did Polar with Mad Mikkelsen, the assassin guy? Who, the villain in that, the main villain was the actor that played Tweedledee and Tweedledum from the Alice in Wonderland movie.
Yeah.
But I referred to him as a cartoon character also, but not in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Margot Robbie is a cartoon character. She's ridiculous, but I don't know. It's just very fun and crazy, and also kind of unpredictable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I've read some reviews just of other people that have watched the movie, and a lot of people that are giving it low scores are comparing it to, you know, the Birds of Prey comic. And I think, and I know, especially with DC, we've had to pull in the comic world and to try to validate the movie in some aspects, like in Batman versus Superman. But in this one, I'm okay with it being completely detached from the comic, because it is so much fun, and it is like a cartoon. But there are still some, well, I won't even say they're comic. I would say they're more like Scott Pilgrim in a way, as far as how we get the cartoonish or the old school Batman, you know, with Adam West, where we got the pow, boom, you know, the big colorful signs on the screen.
Yeah.
This felt that way. Certainly.
Yeah, I like I don't know what it is right now, but for some reason it really works for me when you have a movie and so we're having the narration, right? So we're being told a story from the point of view of our protagonist. And that story is accented by visuals on screen, whether it be 2D or 3D. Most of the time I think it's like 2D drawings. You know, you see a person and then you see who they are and what their beef is. And and like I really like that. I don't know what it is, but I like a movie that's not too serious that can give me a stat card, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
One of my favorite little bits they do that in Scott Pilgrim perfectly. It's brilliant in Scott Pilgrim. And we did this for this show. We did the rundown with The Rock and Sean William Scott and Christopher Walken. And at the very beginning of the movie, they do that. They give us the stat cards on these guys, but then it stops for some reason. And I wish they would have done that throughout the movie on anyone that The Rock has to face, where we get the stat card. And we only got it when he fought the football players. It was very... it was weird to introduce this thing and then never see it again. And that was a bummer.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is. I just like that. I don't know why I like that. Have you seen Lady Wan? I think Andrew has Lady Wan. Have you seen The Mitchells versus the Machines?
I am actually in the middle of watching it right now. Like it's paused on my TV.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I appreciate that you said that you have it paused and you're not watching it while you're recording with us. So what? I'm just curious, without giving too many spoilers. What part are you in the movie?
They have just decided that they're going to go for their plan after talking to the not so great robots who just have to agree with whatever command they're given.
Okay, so they're at the gas station, I think, or are they at the?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they're about to head out.
So that movie is so great in that it does this same thing, right? It gives it fills in the story with like 2D animation as well as like you getting like their world 3D and then 2D as well as like impact lines and like accent and colors and stars and smiley faces.
Yeah.
It's so brilliant. I can't wait for you to finish it just to...
I know. I'm really excited. I'm loving it so far.
It's so good. It's so good. And
we don't really review animated movies on this podcast that much, but that one is one that it's a fantastic. Even if you don't have kids, it's worth a watch. Like, it's wonderful to watch with your kids. But if you don't have kids, even as an adult, you would enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, it's great.
Yeah, we did it. We watched it as a family, and my kids were rolling. And I don't know how you are, Lady Wan, but at the end of the movie, I was full tears. I was a mess.
I'm ready for it. It's going to happen.
I haven't cried that much at a cartoon movie probably since the last Pixar movie.
Oh,
probably since because we watched Onward again not that long ago, and when the brothers have their moment, I get the ugly cry going pretty good. Which is weird because I'm an only child, so maybe it's like I'm projecting what I think brothers should be or something. I don't know.
Aww.
I don't know. It's fine. That's why I have Sam and Andrew to pick on me and
that's right.
Offer fun ways to kill me. Andrew, what's your 5-word review?
Well, I tell you, I did not stick with our normal 5-word review format tonight because I thought this was too important not to say. Losing a perfectly good breakfast sandwich would cause me to break everyone's legs also.
Especially when that's all the money you had in the world.
The catalyst, I mean, where she just breaks is this breakfast sandwich. That's what drives this movie.
It's not the Joker. It's the not sandwich. The Joker.
Yeah, I mean, that's her breaking point is this one thing that she really wants and is going to make her happy is this breakfast sandwich, and she loses it, and then all hell breaks loose. So I get it. Like, I completely understand Yeah, I had a good time with this movie. To use one of Sam's phrases, I had a good time with it because it was just fun throughout the entire thing. And unfortunately, I couldn't watch it straight through. I had to pause it because over the summer, as a teacher, I'm home with the kids, so I'm being dad throughout the day. So I had to pause it several times and watch it with headphones, and so that my children didn't hear all the colorful language.
Not for the kids.
But it really made me think about, I didn't count the F words, but it made me think about Wolf of Wall Street because it was so like, there was a point, and it doesn't happen to me very often because I'm not, I guess I'm not the greatest person in the world, but foul language doesn't normally bother me in a movie, but there's a limit. Like there's a point where I'm like, okay, it's becoming gratuitous now, and it just happens. Like it's just part of the script at this point that it's just too much. But other than that, and the weird Black Canary skiing, or whatever that was. I guess that was Harley Quinn using the wind of. Yeah, it looked like she was cross country skiing or something. I know she was on skates, but that whole scene kind of took me out because we haven't seen any superpowers in the film until that point, and that's the only time we see anything that's kind of supernatural in any way. I just felt like it was out of place, and maybe we could have. I mean, I know that's her superpower, and I know that it's kind of pandering to the audience as far as we want. If you're a fan, you want to see some of those powers. I get it. But at the same time, if that's the only time you're going to use it, you don't need it. So, but yeah, I loved all the leg breaking and all the face. Well, I don't say I love the face off part, but yeah, that was kind of gory. But everything else was very nice. I liked it.
It's funny, one of you mentioned, I don't remember which one, I apologize, that this is only the second DC rated R film, and it made me think, how weird is that Marvel has more R-rated films than DC does, and Marvel is the one that's considered to be lighthearted and fun. Because all three Blade movies are rated R. Those are violent, swearing movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the two Deadpool movies. And and Logan. Oh yeah.
So now none of those are obviously MCU properties, and none of them are properties since Disney purchased them. Well, yeah, that's right. So, but I still think that's interesting that Marvel went there first. I do know that there was hints that there was going to be that the next Doctor Strange movie is going to be a horror film. It's going to be PG-13, but there was like a rumor that it was also going to be cut to be a rated R, like horror level thing. But I could have misheard that somewhere, and I might be propagating a lie. I don't know. Anyway, that's how rumors start.
Well, it's Sam Raimi, so if anybody could do it.
Is he directing the second Doctor Strange?
Yes.
Oh, I'm excited now. I didn't know that. I love Sam Raimi. Look, I will fight people. I like the Spider-Man. I like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. Yes, 3 is terrible. I love Spider-Man 2.
It's amazing.
It's so good. Until Iron Man came out, it was my favorite comic book movie. Like
I like that that we're starting to bring in, or rumored to be bringing in, some of those Sam Raimi characters into the MCU.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's why they're having him direct some of these movies, because I mean, at least that's my speculation, to kind of get his input on how the crossovers might work.
Well, the rumors have been just insane with what Spider-Man 3, the Homecoming, whatever, the home far not far
No Way Home.
No Way Home, thank you, is going to be. I mean, at one point there was talking about having Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield as other Spider-Verses, part of the multiverse. But then both of them have said, no, that's not a thing that's happening. But the fact that they've already got Andrew Molina to come back as Doc Ock, and didn't I
Jamie Foxx?
Jamie Foxx is coming back as Electro.
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing, because he's kind of the second worst thing in that movie besides Dahane, whatever you pronounce his name. Valerian in A City of a Thousand Planets, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
He was the worst part of that movie. He's terrible. I'm sorry. All right. Anyway, we could talk about Marvel all night. Oh, and by the way, I am a little bummed out. Twitter spoiled the Loki episode for me tonight, which I'm a little annoyed at.
It hasn't spoiled it for me yet. Don't tell me.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm just annoyed because it's like, wait a minute. Twitter, you've been so kind to me. Like, I haven't experienced Twitter, the bad Twitter. Podcasting, Potter and Family has been very kind. But this one podcast was like, oh my gosh, this thing happened. It's like, the show is like 4 hours old. Give the rest of us some time. I mean, I won't get to watch it until tomorrow.
I definitely had that experience with Mandalorian and then also Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I would have to watch them like on my lunch break on Fridays. Because I couldn't not be on the internet for the rest of the day, and I didn't want to get spoiled.
Well, I watched them with my wife. She's into this stuff, and so I have to watch it with her, and so we have to, our schedules have to align. And for Falcon and Winter Soldier, honestly, I don't think I would have cared if there would have been anything that was spoiled, because I kind of knew it was going to happen. We all knew that Sam was going to be captain. Like, we knew that was going to be a thing. So I guess if that's a spoiler, sorry, but as far as Mandalorian, that season 2 finale of Mandalorian, I would have been pissed if someone would have spoiled that for me, because that reveal was so powerful. I was just grinning from ear to ear, and I literally did have a tear roll down my face, and my wife just looks at me and goes, really? And it was before we really knew what was happening, because as soon as that, I'm just going to say, the ship arrives at the end.
Yeah, you're like,
I'm like,
are you going to do it?
I know who that is. Then,
I was just screaming at my television like, you won't, you wouldn't.
It's like, how in the world? And then when that lightsaber lit up, not going to say what color it is, I'm just saying when that lightsaber lit up, I was like, oh my gosh, and so my wife's like, how do you know? And I'm like, I know these things. It was so cool. It was so cool. All right. Anyway, gosh, my 5-word review.
Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey. Yeah, I don't want people to think who are listening so far, they're like, oh my gosh, you guys are 30 minutes into your episode and you've only spent 15 minutes talking about Birds of Prey. Usually that's a sign that we didn't like the movie. That's actually, I don't think is the case tonight. I just think it's because I'm excited to talk about other things. I don't know why. Yeah. My 5-word review was simply, most fun watching DC recently. Yeah. That's 5 words. This is the most fun I've had at DC in a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that like I did kind of get into a weird little Twitter skirmish with another podcast who made the claim that Batman Forever is better than Batman Begins. Oh. And I made the counter argument that that's like saying that the Star Wars Christmas special is better than A New Hope. And he came back with an interesting counter argument. And I said, what you're saying isn't incorrect, but it doesn't make Forever a good movie.
No.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I like Batman.
Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, especially Batman and Robin. I
mean, Batman and Robin is objectively terrible, right? It's really bad. I could watch Batman Forever for this podcast and have a good time with it. You know? Yeah. I'm okay with overacting Jim Carrey. I'm okay with overacting Tommy Lee Jones. You don't get to see him be ridiculous very often. So I'm not saying I hate the movie. And there was a period in my life in which it was my favorite Batman. Honestly, when it came out, I had it on VHS. I watched the hell out of that movie. I thought it was kind of neat that their Tommy guns had neon lights on the drums that hold the bullets. I thought that was cool. It's just
the Batmobile. I'll give you this: the vehicles were kind of cool.
It was.
Yeah. But I watched. It's funny you say that. I watched Batman Returns like 2 or 3 days ago, just on a whim. I needed something to watch and not really have to think. And so I watched it and I thought, man, I really miss Tim Burton doing Batman films.
Yeah. I long ago made the claim that the Harry Potter series would have been so cooler if Tim Burton was the first two movies instead of Christopher Columbus.
Yeah.
Same cast. Keep the same cast, right? Keep everything the same. I guess we would have had Danny Elfman score instead of John Williams, but
I'm fine with that.
I think it would have. Yeah, the Harry Potter score isn't exactly his groundbreaking or brilliant. I think it's good, but it's not. I don't know. I would have liked to have seen what Hogwarts looked like through his mind.
It could have been very cool.
It could have been so weird and cool and just different and not necessarily. I mean, my favorite of them, honestly, is the third one, which had Alfonso Cuarón, I think, was the director, who I think he won an Oscar for something. Didn't he win an Oscar for the fish lady sex thing?
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't that
Out
him?
of water or something
No.
like that.
No, or was that? No, that was different. That was different. That was Del Toro. No,
Yeah.
I am all over the place. I'm sorry.
What we're on to? Oh man, this is gonna bug me. What did he do?
Alfonso Cuarón. This is great podcasting. All right. All right. I apparently I don't know how to spell his name.
Roma. That was like recently.
Oh, so he did. Okay. See, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Good gracious. See, not Birds of Prey. Alfonso Cuarón.
I know. We're going to talk about 15 movies that aren't Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
He wrote. All right.
Yeah.
So I have to do this. So yeah, he directed Roma, which did win.
Yeah.
Right.
I won for Best Foreign Language Picture.
Oh, okay.
It did not win for Best Picture.
He did Gravity, which is a pretty good movie, and Children of Men, which is a good movie. And then he did the 1998 Great Expectations. Interesting. I remember really hating that movie. Because it's the story, right? It's the story, and Gwyneth Paltrow just comes across as such a jerk in that movie, or I think she's supposed to.
So, sorry, wheeling this bus back around.
Yeah, no, by all means, somebody's got to. Obviously, the whoever's driving it is just.
I want to talk about two things that I really, really liked.
Yeah, please.
The little girl that played Cassandra Cain.
Yeah,
I thought she was awesome. She did a brilliant job.
Yeah.
And I want to see her in more stuff because she was really good. I say little girl, she's probably 20 something, but she did. I thought just a fantastic job. And then the other thing that I really liked, the music. Like I love all these covers of all this different stuff that's thrown into the movie that is almost a little piece of nostalgia that we get while we're watching legs break and faces peel and it's good stuff.
Yeah, the music is really fun. I think the entire soundtrack is just female artists, and it's like remixes and covers and samples, and it's just all really fun. And the timing of it all is perfect throughout the movie. It's a mood. Like the whole movie is just a chaotic, frenzied, giddy mood, but without ever feeling like tiring. It's not like more of this. Like you never get tired of Harley, which she's a very easy character to get tired of. You know, she's a sidekick, and she's become her own thing now. And so I know Margot Robbie didn't want to do like a Harley Quinn solo movie. She wanted it to be a girl gang movie. So she was the driving force behind this, not just being like Harley's story. She wanted the other characters in it. But I think she did a great job in that initial idea. And then the director, Kathy Yan, of like weaving in all of these other stories without, again, like feeling like bogged down, because they all do come together and weave in and out of each other's stories in a way that feels organic and not forced or like, you know, like a weird Gary Marshall try hard where it's like, and then they live next door to me. Like it all feels right in Gotham.
I love how also that and I don't mind this in movies, that you'll meet a character and then 30 minutes later you'll go, oh, wait a minute, you don't know the backstory. Let's go back and talk about who this person is and how I'm fine with that. And then we get back to our regularly scheduled program and catch up to where they are in the story. And I think that's cool. I think that's, fun storytelling, and it's a different way to do it. So that we're not just stuck in the same monotony that we are when we watch any other film.
Exactly.
And then her Harley Quinn is humanized in this one, very much so. And she kind of gets a little bit of that in Suicide Squad, but in this one you see her, especially with her relationship with the Cassandra character. You see a little bit of her normal human being side and not the crazy psycho killer. So
yeah, she's really charming in a way that like allows you to, you're on board with her being like, hold on, let me back up and tell you. Like it all feels like it works because she's just such a charming character, and
it kind of
she's sweet while being, abusive.
It kind of feels like you're just sitting and in a way just having a conversation with, even though you're not speaking, you're just listening. But it sounds like you're sitting in a room and just talking with somebody about this wild story that happened to them. And I think it's great storytelling. Yeah.
It's really fun. That's like my main takeaway when I saw this and when I was telling other people to go see it, is I was like, it's as fun as you can imagine, like anything with Harley Quinn being. Like they lean all the way into it. She's got a hyena. She's talking to a stuffed beaver. She's crying, screaming. Like she's completely over the top, but in such an enjoyable way.
I really liked, honestly, you guys touched on it, just the storytelling vehicle that they used because she's frenetic and crazy, the story she's telling is going to be frenetic and crazy. So we get to a point and she's like, oh, hold on, I need to give you some backstory. And then, and I mean, it's like, I don't know, I love that. And then like, oh, how did we get here? Oh, well, I need to go tell you about the girl in the toilet or like there's just so many of these great little layers that I really enjoyed, just how they did the storytelling. I just thought it was really clever. You mentioned the girl, the Kane girl. Her real name is Ella J. Bosco. And if you think that name sounds kind of familiar, well, she is Ella J. Bosco's a proud Korean Filipino actress and singer-songwriter. She is the daughter of Derek Bosco, who is an actor and who is her acting coach. Her godfather is Dante Bosco, who plays Rufio in Hook.
Oh, okay.
Or for the younger audience, he is the voice of Zuko in Avatar: The Last Airbender. But go watch Hook. Anyway, I just thought that I just thought that was cool that we had a Hook reference sort of connection. I mean, not really.
That is. She was so great in it. I hope that they bring her in for whatever they're going to do with the next part of this story. Because Cassandra Cain becomes Batgirl in some version of the comics. Mm-hmm. So I don't know kind of what ground they're laying there, but I thought that actress was awesome. So if there's more to come with her, that'll be a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. It hadn't really occurred to me, Andrew, until I'm going back. I'm looking at Mary Elizabeth Winstead's acting career. We've watched a lot of her movies.
We have.
We've watched this movie, Gemini Man, which was the last one she did, and then 10 Cloverfield Lane, Swiss Army Man, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. We need to do Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Why have we not done that?
Good question.
Oh my gosh. We are not doing our jobs if we haven't done that.
That one's streaming also.
Is it really?
Yeah. Where did I see that?
We've got to do that
Max,
movie.
maybe?
I don't know why, but I like that movie so much. It's so ridiculous, but I like it.
Yeah. I haven't seen what is it? Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
I've seen that. It's
done by
fun.
the same director. Is it?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Is it?
It doesn't matter.
No. I'm sorry. Maybe it was the same author that wrote.
It is the same author. It's the same author.
That's what
Yeah.
And that movie's good. I like that movie too. It's pretty fun. I also kind of have a crush on the lead actress, the girl that also played the new Cinderella.
Ugh, Lily James is the best ever.
She's just so lovely.
She is.
I know that's weird for me to say, but whatever. Yeah, I don't have much else in my notes. I didn't take many notes, honestly. There wasn't much for me to write down. I was just enjoying the ride. I didn't take a lot of notes. I did write things like Obi-Wan cracks me up. He yells at everyone. The only trope that he hasn't done yet is kill one of his own men. That's like the only main bad guy trope that he didn't fulfill was kill his own men.
Yeah.
Because we did have, give me your badge and your gun trope and the angry police chief trope, and we had some of those other ones that are classic movie tropes. I did write, no wonder Gotham needed Batman. The police department really sucks.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I wrote, I love Black Betty during a fight scene. I don't know what it is about that song, but if you play that song during your fight scene, it just makes it a little bit better for me. Yep. And they use that in The Hitman's Bodyguard, which I know if you were playing bingo, check one off. Sean mentioned Hitman's Bodyguard. But they use it in that movie, and it's perfect. It's just so great. I don't know what it is about that song, but if you put that in your action scene, I'm in. I don't know why. I just am. I did write a payphone question mark. They still had those, apparently.
Well, you know how Gotham is.
Yeah, I guess. I did write, it feels like it should be harder to ram a truck into a very flammable factory. It seems really easy to do.
They didn't have those big red balls in front of it like they did at Target.
The Target, yeah. Or some kind of metal gate or bollard. I mean, the gate was like a little wooden arm thingy, right? Like anyone could just walk in there. It seemed kind of bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I got to blame it on Gotham infrastructure. I don't think that place is stable.
No, again. I will say there was probably a moment in the movie as I'm watching it and the bad guys doing horrible things. And I thought, maybe Ra's al Ghul had a point. Maybe they should just let Gotham burn and start over.
Yeah. Yeah. It's bad news
that
here.
That place kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And then the last note I had was I did not see that death coming. The grenade and it was great. I laughed out loud. I don't. Maybe I wasn't supposed to, but I did. It was funny. It made me laugh because I just didn't expect it. I knew she was going to fire the last bullet and not matter. I knew that was going to happen, but I don't know what I was expecting to happen. Some kind of trickeration or I don't know. But I was not expecting her to pull a grenade. And, oh my gosh, that was really funny. Any of you guys have any other notes before I play some clips?
I don't.
I think. What was I trying to say here? I think in general, like we said, several times. It's really, really fun. It's colorful. It's a vibe. But I really liked just some of the scenes that happen in this movie that are like in particular to it being like a predominantly female cast, like when they're fighting and she hands her a hair tie to tie her hair back because that would happen. That is necessary. I'm holding a hair tie right now. Like you need one at all times. And then like just the next morning, like they're having their margaritas together and they're all like congratulating each other. And then like when they team up, to fight, there's just like some sense of camaraderie there and just like, hey, that was awesome. Yeah, you were awesome. And it's just a really fun mood to carry through this movie, which I think is especially important when your hero is not really a good guy. Like the star of this movie is a criminal. So to have like a good mood about it all is really important and an impressive feat in the movie to have it be just like so fun the whole time. So yeah, I really love it. It's a good time.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, time for some clips. I didn't get a lot, honestly, because one, there's a lot of bad language.
Yes.
I started to just record myself for you standing in front of a mirror saying, "Do you know who I am?" Yeah. They call me. Yeah.
All right, here we go. This just reminded me of Pirates of the Caribbean, so I clipped it.
Parlay?
Yes.
So there's that. Okay. Bad cheese.
I don't know if it's the stray Armenian arm hair or the fact that his cheese slices are always 6 months out of date, but no one makes an egg sandwich like Sal. I mean it, Sal. No one.
And the way they filmed that egg sandwich, man, I wanted one.
It's gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, I wanted one. It makes me want to, on the way to work tomorrow, stop off at Bojangles and get a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So good.
So what is this? Oh, Joker.
Here, X or something?
You don't know who that is? The Joker. The Clown Prince of Crime. My former partner in madness. The Harley Quinn of hate. The Jester of genocide. You've never heard of him.
Oh, sounds like a dick.
I love the music in the background. It's very kind of... Now, you guys are you hit on it earlier. You're 100% right. The music is really good, and the covers that they do. I can't remember which one it was, but it was when she's walking away at night and she's all sad, and that song is playing. Just it's like 3 times slower than the actual song is. And I know that's very popular to do now, where you take these kind of peppy songs and slow them way down. I remember when they're really popular in movie trailers. I think the first time I remember hearing it very specifically was the teaser trailer for Age of Ultron, when they did the I've got no strings, but they stretched it out and it's very discordant. I've got no strings. Like they really stretch it out. It's like, oh man, that was so creepy and weird. This made me laugh.
Did you have time to do a shoe change?
I don't know if you could hear that. The music's really loud. It's when Canary's asking when does she have time to do a shoe change, which is funny because I literally said it out loud. She comes skating out. I'm like, when does she have time to put skates on? And then the movie
it takes a good 10 minutes to put roller skates on.
Easily.
But she's got time.
Yeah.
She's Harley. She's got time.
She's got time. Oh, my goodness. And we had to play this.
What now?
Sionis is gone, but it's just a matter of time before some other asshole tries to finish what he started.
Right.
We gotta clean the city from the inside out.
Does she always talk like the cop in a bad 80s movie, or is that just...
I had to cut it off because F words were coming. But yeah, that's great. All right. Time for...
You didn't get the bow and arrow clip?
No. Oh, I don't do a bow and arrow like I'm an effing child or something like that, or Robin Hood or something.
I'm not 12. No. That made me laugh.
I did like how she kept trying to like have her moment where they call me and everybody's like, "You're the crossbow killer." She's like, "No, my name's Huntress." I did think that was pretty funny. I like a good gag like that when you don't get to, you know, like I don't know. There's other movies. There's a TV show that I love called it's called Leverage, and in one of the episodes, one of the bad guys, he calls himself the Mako because he's a shark and he's whatever. And throughout the whole episode, they keep getting his nickname wrong, and it just pisses him off. And it just becomes a joke, right? A punchline, because not only are they getting it wrong, but they're getting it wrong on purpose. You know, at one point, he's like one guy calls him a tuna, and somebody else calls him the gefilte fish, and it's a thing. But it just kind of reminds me of like she wants to have this moment, but she never really gets to have it, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
All right, time for this.
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
Like I said, there was a lot of trivia. A lot. So I captured what I thought was interesting of what I read, because I didn't read it all. Okay. Birds of Prey was filmed between January and April of 19. After director Kathy Yan's first director's cut, was edited and shown to Warner Brothers, Warner Brothers Picture Studio executives and producers, they had mixed reactions to it. It was then test screened to an audience sometime in the summer of 19, and although there was some positive reaction, vast majority of test screening audiences hated the film, especially all the action sequences and the original ending, in which it was revealed that the diamond Cassandra Cain stole contained private explicit pictures of Black Mask. Warner Brothers then demanded a massive reshoots of the film, and in August of 19, Chad Stahelski was brought in to direct all of the new action scenes, and reportedly either Yan or someone else directed all the other new scenes, which caused the budget to rise. Huh. So some of the action scenes were not directed by the director, which is kind of a bummer.
I would say they're really good and entertaining, though. The way they, because you watch a superhero movie or any kind of action movie, you're going to get, your sequence, and then you'll go a little bit longer, and then you'll have to have another fight sequence. And making them different is a challenge. And, they set them in different ways. We've got like the sprinklers in the police station. We've got like the blue and pink powder and the glitter. We've got the whole funhouse thing. So, they definitely utilize different settings for all these various action sequences, which I think keeps it interesting and keeps it fun the whole time. So kudos to whatever number of people worked on that. It worked out.
I did notice in the fight scene at the end when she picks up the big mallet and she hits an extra, the head of the mallet goes flying off. But it's so quick. It's such a quick cut. You don't hardly notice it. And then the next shot, the mallet's in one piece. So like obviously that was a mistake, but there was a moment where she smacks somebody like in the shoulder and that thing goes it flies away. It's pretty funny.
Aw.
They probably went through several hammers in that scene. The one thing I did like was that, and again, up to that point, we had not seen Canary do her thing. So all of the fighting was just women, just kicking butt. It wasn't like all of a sudden now they're Captain America, and when they punch you, you go through a wall or anything like that. It was just they're just good fighters, and that's just kind of what it was. There wasn't anything again supernatural about it. I thought I appreciated it keeping it grounded until thing. Although he was considered for many roles over the years, including the main roles in Batman Forever, Batman Begins, Ant-Man, and Doctor Strange, this is the first time Ewan McGregor has appeared in a comic book film. I don't know what he would have done in Doctor Strange. I kind of think Benedict Cumberbatch was born for that role.
Yeah.
And Mads Mikkelsen is the bad guy. I think he's a great bad guy. I don't know if I could, because that bad guy comes across as more subtle and menacing as opposed to crazy and insane. And McGregor played crazy pretty good.
Yeah.
Though And again, Paul Rudd as Ant-Man, I think is also kind of, he's kind of perfect.
Oh, yeah. It's perfect.
It's kind of perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. The sequence in the Funhouse slide when they go down, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is taking on one of the armed villains, and they collide before she rides down. The cut in that scene is real because the stuntman collided with the camera person. So after reading that, I kind of remembered it when they're going down and she's on top of him, like stabbing him, whatever. Like he hits the camera guy. Like it's kind of funny. In an interview with the Graham Norton show, Margot Robbie stated that the original plan did consider using a trained hyena for Harley's pet. Although there was one available, hyenas are extremely territorial, and the production was warned that they would not be able to reuse any part of the set that the hyena touched. So instead of an actor in a motion capture suit for full CGI, they used a large dog with CGI enhancements added in post-production. Although cheaper than other options, the effect was so expensive that the filmmakers could only afford one hyena, which is why she only has one instead of two in the original comic.
I love that.
Yeah. I think it's better that it's a dog because she can interact with it like a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I also learned. Hyenas, because she says when she meets the hyena at the end and she's like, oh, yeah, I guess hyenas do have 9 lives. Hyenas are more related to cats than dogs. I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're not.
That's strange.
I didn't know that. They look like dogs, but they're more related to cats, which explains why they're dicks. So.
It does. It does.
Yep.
There was another piece of trivia I wanted to just chat about. I didn't write all of it down, but I thought it was interesting. So when they cast Rosie Perez for the role, the character in the comic books is much younger than her. And the director wanted someone a little bit more mature to kind of give more weight to the... What, Andrew?
Oh, I said maternal feelings.
No, I just think they wanted to give it, so that when she quits at the end, that it has more meaning of someone who's giving up 20 years on the job than 3.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, like there's more stakes involved, and she's seeing that the system is broken and that she's been trying to work on for a long time, and that she sees how much, you know, the captain kind of sucks and whatever. And she was hesitant to take on the role because she was afraid that she was just going to be the butt of old jokes, that they would, that's all it would be. And it wasn't. They made a couple of like 80s jokes, but for the most part, I think they did a pretty good job of not doing that. And so she did say that if there was going to be a sequel, she was a little bummed out because that means she'd have to work out and like get back in shape for it. So there was some kind of humor there, but
I did enjoy her T-shirt, but you would never see that in a real police station.
Well,
see somebody walking around in a "Did I shave my balls for this T-shirt?"
Anyway, that's it, and time for this.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Time for our top 3, and we chose to do women team-ups. And so I'm using that in a very broad sense that it doesn't have to be the movie is about the women team up. It could be just a scene. It could be a moment. It could be whatever. You know, just a team of badass women doing badass things. And whether you think that means kicking ass or just being awesome. I'm very open-ended in this thing.
Gotcha.
So, Lady Wan, I'll let you go first.
I'll go with the easiest, but still relevant and important answer, which is Charlie's Angels, the 2000 version.
Okay.
The first one, not Full Throttle. Just because it was like a fun action movie with a charming cast, and like it's funny, but also has good stunts, and you can't have a female team up without talking about Charlie's Angels.
Sure. Okay. You have any more, or was it just that one?
Sorry, I can't remember. Do I do all three?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
It's fine.
All right. Sorry, I forgot. All right. My second one is a scene in particular. Sticking with the superhero theme here, it is the scene in Black Panther when the Dora Milaje go to attack Killmonger after T'Challa has come back, and now it's not a valid claim to the throne. And when they all go to fight him, they're just like, we know that they're Wakanda's greatest warriors, and they're fighting him, and it's just such an exciting scene, and further establishes what a bad guy Killmonger is, because he's just throwing these women aside, but they're the warriors, and I really like that scene. It's a fun time for them to shine. And then my last one is a bit of a weird choice. It's Hocus Pocus.
Oh yeah,
that's good.
So also sort of like anti-heroes there, because there's some crazy 90s nostalgia for Hocus Pocus. People love those witches, but they're the bad guys in the movie. But that's a girl gang, those sisters for sure.
Yeah,
that's good.
And that's on our we watch every year for Halloween.
Yeah,
we've watched that every year
good
for
one.
At least since Declan was born. He's 8, so I'm probably before that too. All right. I will go next. I always let Andrew go last because his lists are always better than mine. So I thought of one while you were talking. So my original 3 were my number 3 was fried green tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
I really I think I actually said this on Twitter not that long ago. I was embarrassingly old when I finally realized that in that movie they were eating the guy.
Yeah.
When they're having the barbecue, it's because they're eating that wife beater dude. And I'd never, because I've probably seen that movie. When I was growing up, my mom had about 5 or 10 kind of female, I don't want to call them chick flicks because they weren't all that, but kind of female-centric movies that were just on rotation, on in the house. During the summer, mom's working at home, and they're just on. And so I probably have seen, maybe not front to back, but in total, I've probably seen fried green tomatoes 9 or 10 times. And it probably wasn't until I was sometime in college before I went, oh man, they ate that guy. That's kind of crazy. Like I just didn't pick up on it, when you're a kid. Another movie in mom's rotation was First Night with Richard Gere and Sean Connery.
That's a good one.
I've probably seen that movie probably 7 or 8 times too.
Me too.
It's just one of those movies. The Cutting Edge was also on that list. The ice skater.
Oh yeah.
With Moira, what's her name? No, Moira Kelly, isn't that her name?
I cannot remember.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, the hockey player turned ice skater. I've probably seen that movie 7 or 8 times too. Anyway, fried green tomatoes is my number 3. My number 2, I did Hidden Figures.
I thought about that.
Yeah, I liked that movie. I did. That was good. And then my number 1 is maybe it's just too on the nose. I don't know, but it's the scene at the in Endgame when all of the women show up to help Peter Parker. In the moment in the movie when it was happening, I didn't think, oh, geez, now we have to have the woman moment. I thought, how cool is it we get to have the woman moment where it's the women that get to protect the dude. I just thought it was so cool in the moment. I've never thought it was pandering, ever. I think it's super cool. My one honorable mention, though, I did Pitch Perfect.
Oh, wait. I have an honorable mention as well.
Okay.
The Taylor Swift Bad Blood music video.
Okay. I've never seen it.
It's an all-star cast. It's very much like superhero, spies, like action star kind of thing. It's like Selena Gomez, Zendaya, Haley Steinfeld, Carly Kloss. Like Lena Dunham. Like, it's just a ton of people. She basically called up all her friends and was like, do you want to be in an action movie that is just a music video? So
Interesting.
honorable mention for Bad Blood.
All right. Cool. All right, Andrew.
All right. Well, I have. It's not a great movie, but at number 3, I have Bridesmaids.
Sure.
Which is
it's a good one.
It's fun.
Kristen Wiig. Yeah, this is funny.
It's fun.
Number 2, I have Steel Magnolias.
Yeah.
Ooh,
which is kind of one of those movies that my mom had a collection as well, and that was one that I watched a couple times. And then number 1, I have A League of Their Own.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
A classic.
It's such a good movie. Some of my favorite lines are from John Lovitz in that movie. He cracks me up when he's nothing but snarky and rude to them, and then he says he's leaving, and they're like, "Are you leaving?" He goes, "Oh, dry your eyes," and then he says, "I don't know why they get attached to me. I must be too nice or something." Like, his character is so funny. I like his character. We did get finally some interaction on the social media. Twitter, our friend and listener Maxton said A League of Their Own, one of the greats, and he also said Widows.
Yeah. I never saw that.
I haven't seen it either.
I haven't seen it either.
And then
I do like everyone in it, though. I should see it.
And then also on Twitter, 3 Films and a Podcast. Their Twitter handle is @3filmspod. Also said Widows. And then our good friend Cameron.
I have to see it now.
Our good friend Cameron said he liked Bad Girls when he was in high school. I don't know what that is. The second half of Death Proof, and my wife says Practical Magic.
Oh, Practical Magic,
yeah.
I forgot about that one. That's a good one.
Yeah. That's a fun one.
Yeah.
3 Films and a Podcast also just literally tweeted as I'm reading Charlie's Angels, Thelma and Louise, and Ocean's 8 and Hustlers. Also, my friend Lauren from the Beard Owl podcast wanted me to say, wrote down Practical Magic. Also a good one, Practical Magic. So, there you go. I don't think we had any engagement on the Facebook page, which is not unusual. No. So, cool. Well, thank you to those who participated in that. And then Jesse from Sudden But Inevitable, again, as I'm reading this is hot off the presses, says, definitely Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, my wife mentioned that one and Clueless.
I thought about Clueless too.
I love Clueless.
I do like Clueless. I like all those movies. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I do like
Because
Clueless.
they're hilarious.
They are funny. Oh my gosh. I mean, Mean Girls is probably, outside of intentionally trying to find ways to use gifts from both Star Trek and Serenity, Mean Girls is probably one of my most gift movies.
Yeah.
Just, she doesn't even go here. I mean, that line is just so perfect in all of the things. I just have so many feelings. And then, and I've definitely used the bit when the principal's yelling at the girls, and he's like, "I will keep you here all night if I have to." And then she whispers, "We can't keep him past 5. I will keep you here until 5. I used to work at a university, and I've said that in jest to my staff. And someone that was in on the joke was the voice of, "We can't keep him past 5." Something like that.
It is a highly quotable movie.
It really is. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
Okay. That's that. Time for this.
Wait, what's supposed to happen?
This is where we give our... Andrew, I'm not going to lie. When I clicked that button, I thought, wait, did I do Andrew? Okay. No, we didn't. There was a 3-week period, Lady Wan, where I legit forgot to do Andrew because I was so used to going last in this process. And then I started letting Andrew go last because his top 3 were way better than any of ours. So I thought, well, then we'll save the best for last. But then I would forget him. So it was kind of...
yeah.
I don't know.
I'm an afterthought. It's okay.
No.
Aw.
All right. Andrew, out of 10, what you got?
Well, I don't know. I did enjoy it. Rewatchability, I would watch it again, but it's not something I want to see anytime in the near future. But I did have a lot of fun with it. I'm going to put it around maybe a 6.
All right.
Yeah, let's just say 6.
Okay. IMDb has it as a 6.1 for what it's worth.
Okay.
We're already at a vast improvement from last week, by the way. we are at about 600% better than last week. What you got, Lady Wan?
I give this an 8 out of 10. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. It's just it has a vision, it has a mood, it has a style, and no, it's not for every day, but what it does really well.
Yeah. Okay. I can get behind that. Well, we need some decimal points here, so I'll be that guy, and I'll say I'll give it a 6.1. I'll agree with IMDb. No, I can't say 6.1. I'm going to give it a 6. How about 6.2? There we go. That gets in the 6.73 repeating. Got to use those decimal points. This is a fun movie. I had a good time with it. This is me. And I can't, Andrew's more into DC Comics than I am. And I know other people that listen to this show are super into DC Comics, which is fine. And if you hate this movie because it's not DC Comic, then, part of the, very true to the story, that's fine too. I just think you should just have fun. I don't think this movie is supposed to be setting lore. This is not another Batman movie where we have to once again watch Bruce Wayne lose his parents, and once again he has to beat up homeless, bad guys, or whatever. Just have some fun with this, and just kind of relish in the idea that pretty much everyone she inflicts pain on are also bad guys. So, I mean, the cops that she shoots, she's using non-lethal with that grenade launcher. I mean, the beanbags I'm sure hurt like hell. But she doesn't kill any cops, which is I appreciate. I mean, and frankly, those cops suck. If they can't stop her, then maybe they should all retire or something. I don't know. It seemed too easy, but it was still a cool scene. And again, cocaine as your superpower is kind of awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that the name of our episode, Andrew? Cocaine is my superpower.
But yeah, as long as you don't say kind of awesome, because that might trigger some.
Yeah. I didn't explain this to you earlier, Lady Wan, in our intro. So the way we do it now is the reason why you hear the music drop is because I will go back and listen and take little funny bits and then insert them into that. So you get like a tease in the intro of what's going to happen. So
very clever.
Unfortunately, I have been not writing down funny moments that we had in the show tonight. So I get to go back and listen. Because actually, that's actually what Sam does. He'll send me, hey, this was funny.
I've been drinking water. I'm sorry.
No, I forgot to tell you to do that. Anyway, not the point. Here is the point. Out of 10, we've done. The last thing we do is the quote game. We are on quote number 21. And this is the quote. I don't know this quote. I really don't. So if you're listening, I would actually like you to send it on Twitter. This is the quote. Though that woman deserves her revenge and we deserve to die. I don't know that.
I don't know that either.
I'm genuinely curious. I mean, I have the answers on the poster, but that means I have to go look. I just rather you tweet at me, which is not easier, I guess, because I have to edit a podcast and then post it and then wait. But still. All right.
Yeah, but the anticipation.
The anticipation will not kill me. It's fine. I'll be all right. Okay. This has been a blast. Lady Wan, thank you again for coming back on. Please tell our fine listeners where they can find more things that you are on because you make all podcasts better.
You can catch me right now. I have a show called Screen Run. It is myself and my co-host Chris, and we are going through the films of Kevin Smith one by one, week by week. And that's what our first season has been. So we're in the midst of it right now. You can go check it out at screenrun.fun and listen to it anywhere you listen to podcasts.
There's a .fun?
.fun. Isn't that the best thing you've ever heard?
Oh my gosh. That is amazing.
Yes.
It feels like only like amusement parks should be allowed to have a .fun. You know, like go to Carowinds .fun. But
or Dave and Buster's or something.
Dave and Buster's .fun. Oh my gosh. Or Frankie's. That's where we went. Frankie's .fun. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay. Hit that website again before people start forgetting. Hit it again.
Screenrun.fun.
Screenrun.fun. Of course, the links will be in the show notes.
Great.
Post on. That's amazing. Cool. Well, thank you for
absolutely
for coming back on and doing this. And if you're sitting here thinking to yourself, her voice does sound familiar. She was with us when we did Hidden Figures. We've not done Hidden Gems. Hidden Figures back in February. So I think like twice a year, maybe 3 times a year, having awesome guests on like this is great. And I'm super excited for you guys to hear this episode. Next week we are doing Hancock. Speaking of another kind of superhero film with actual powers.
You watch your mouth.
Hancock.
With that mouth?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
And we'll be joined next week by Jim. I don't know his last name. So Jim from the Film Rage podcast. And having him on the show makes us an international podcast because he lives in Canada.
Fancy.
Yeah. So looking forward to that. Hancock is next week. In the meantime,
all things international. House of Pancakes, women, and podcasts.
Yeah.
Oh, Man of Mystery. Forgot that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. I'm going to read this last thing here. This literally another tweet just happened this is on, breaking news. Nick Knack goes to the movies. He is at Nick Knack Movies on Twitter. Late to the party, but the Mandalorian Season 2 finale team-up scene was perfection.
It was. That is a great one. Oh my gosh, I loved that moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. So that's the show. Thank you for listening. Cheapseatreviews.libsyn.com is our website. There you can find links to all our other social medias, like our Twitters, Facebook, and Instagram. And you can go back and listen to all 330 other episodes. Yes, Thunder Force is terrible, but you should still listen to our live review of it because, damn it, if we have to suffer through it, then you should too.
And suffer you shall.
And seriously, go watch the YouTube. I know it doesn't help with downloads or whatever, and I don't really care. Go watch the YouTube and look at the pain on Andrew's face. It is real. I mean, it is legit. There's a moment in the movie where I honestly thought Andrew was just going to walk away. And I
started to.
I think the only reason why he didn't was because we were on camera and people were participating with us on YouTube. And I think he would have felt bad for those guys. He didn't want to leave Max and Jesse.
There was a certain point.
I mean,
we'll throw in the towel.
I mean, Lady Wan, we gave it a 1.94.
I've heard terrible things about it.
It's bad. It's a bad movie. It's just it's not that it's just not funny. I just realized we're basically doing 3 superhero movies in a row. I didn't realize that. Yeah. It's not that it's not funny because it's not. It's not just that the plot kind of sucks because it does. It's just there's no chemistry. It felt like and the fact that Octavia Spencer and Melissa McCarthy are like lifelong friends, you would think that they would have chemistry together, but it just looked like neither one of them wanted to be there. I don't know. It's weird. Go watch it. Seriously, it's great. I mean, our review of it, not the movie.
Yeah.
We had a good time. That's what you should do. Leave us a review. Please do those things. We've had some reviews. We had like a month period where we were getting a review every week, and then just stop. See, go leave us reviews. That's how we can other people can see us and it kind of helps with some of the kind of the rankings, which is oddly becoming a thing that people care about. We're in the top 100 in Vietnam.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Watch out.
I know. We did crack the top 100, top 100 in the film review category in England, which is cool.
Ooh.
So I do know that we have some consistent England listeners, which I very much appreciate, and would really love it if you would like just email or something and just say, "Hey, that's me." It'd be really great. But thank you for doing for you listeners over there in England for putting us, I guess, kind of on the map over there. Which I'm also kind of annoyed at iTunes for. If someone, because I do know that someone in England left us a review and it doesn't show up on the iTunes feed. They only post, they only show in America. I had to find it through a website called chartable.com. I found that we had reviews from other countries. That's kind of annoying. So wherever you are, please leave us a review, and I promise I will find it and read it on air. All right. That's the show. Cheapseatreviews@gmail.com is the email address. And that's it. On behalf of Lady Wan, thank you again. And,
thank you.
And on behalf of Andrew, this is Sean saying thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
This is Cheap Seat Reviews.